Starfish not only emphasize the diversity of marine life, but they also rethink how we view competition. These aren't just beautiful sea decorations, they're masters of survival in a world with no shortage of challenges. Each species is a unique answer to the same question: how do you thrive in the vast, unforgiving ocean? Now I explain the most curious myths about starfish are busted in secrets of the sea. Starfish have long been wrapped in mystery and surrounded by myth. Stories, superstitions, and bizarre beliefs have been sparked by their symmetrical, otherworldly form and silent presence on the seafloor for centuries. From ancient legends to modern-day misunderstandings, the humble starfish has become one of the ocean's most misunderstood creatures. However, it is now time to distinguish fact from fiction and investigate some of the most bizarre, and fascinating myths about these creatures, as well as the surprising truths that lie behind them. One of the most common myths about starfish is that they're just decorative ocean plants or rocks. Many people still believe starfish are either part of the sea floor or some kind of coral-like plant. That couldn't be further from the truth. Predators, in fact, are the living things that starfish are. They move, hunt, feed, and respond to their environment, even if their slow pace and alien appearance make them seem lifeless. The incredible biology that is taking place beneath their skin cannot be ignored in the claim that they are just lying there. The notion that a starfish will split in two if you cut it in half is another common misperception. Although it is a twisted version of the truth, this myth is not entirely accurate. Starfish can regenerate, but it depends on the species and which parts of their bodies remain intact. Some species can regenerate an entire new starfish from just one arm, but only if that arm includes a portion of the central disc. Cutting a starfish directly in half doesn't guarantee two survivors. In fact, most will die from that kind of injury. Regeneration is remarkable, but it has its limits. Another erroneous belief is that starfish cannot be killed because they can regrow arms. One common misconception is that a starfish will recover from any situation. The truth is, regeneration takes time, energy, and good health. A starfish's ability to regrow limbs may be severely compromised or fail entirely if it is stressed, ill, or living in polluted waters. Although starfish are resilient, they are not impenetrable. They are vulnerable to disease, temperature changes, and physical trauma just like any other marine animal. Another widely believed myth is that starfish have no senses. Because they don't have visible eyes or a brain, people assume they live in a numb, unfeeling world. Starfish, on the other hand, have eye spots that can distinguish between light and dark at the tips of their arms and a decentralized nervous system. They also have cells. Contrast that with the royal starfish, Asterpecten articulatus, found in the Atlantic. This flashy starfish may look beautiful with its deep purples and vibrant orange borders, but it's also a stealthy predator. Royal starfish, in contrast to their slower-moving counterparts, prefer sandy bottoms where they can quickly bury themselves or pursue mollusk-sized prey. Their battles are more tactical, they rely on surprise and speed. They can outmaneuver many opponents and vanish into the sand like marine ninjas, despite the fact that they might not have a chance against a sunflower star in a wrestling match. The leather star, Dermasterias imbricata, is a fascinating rival. It's soft-bodied and slow-moving but releases a powerful chemical scent that makes it smell like garlic. This odd odor deters many predators, including other starfish. So while it might not be a physical fighter, its chemical defense gives it a psychological edge. In a battle for space on a crowded rock or reef, the leather star might win simply by making its neighbors turn the other way. And what about the bat star, Pteria miniata? With its webbed arms and kaleidoscope of colors, the bat star is often underestimated. It is resilient despite not being aggressive. It is one of the most efficient digestive systems among sea stars and can eat both dead animals and algae, giving it a competitive edge in resource-limited zones. In a competition for food, this adaptability means it often outlasts flashier or more aggressive species that depend on a specific diet. Now let's imagine a food battle on a rocky reef. A mussel bed sits between a common five-armed starfish, a sunflower star, and a royal starfish. The five-armed star starts to climb and pry open a mussel with slow, deliberate strength. But just then, the sunflower star glides in, arms outstretched like a spider web, engulfing both the mussel and the five-armed intruder. As the sunflower star begins to dominate, the royal starfish darts in from the side, grabs a smaller clam, and retreats into the sand. It's not the most glamorous win, but it walks away fed while the others are locked in combat. Strategy over strength. In another scenario, a crown of thorns star enters coral territory already occupied by a group of leather stars. Instead of engaging directly, the leather stars emit their smelly defense and begin slowly retreating. The crown of thorns, unaffected by the odor, charges forward, slicing through coral. Even though there isn't a fight in the traditional sense, chemical retreat wins the battle for reef space size, strength, speed, chemical defense, regeneration. Each species of starfish brings different weapons to the underwater battlefield. Regeneration is especially critical. In fights with crabs, lobsters, or other starfish, losing an arm can mean the difference between life and death. But starfish don't panic. As a lizard sheds its tail, they simply drop the limb, crawl to safety, and they may not see or hear the way we do, but they're far from oblivious. Starfish navigate the ocean with purpose, sensing their surroundings through systems that are uniquely their own. Perhaps the most bizarre myth is that starfish fall from the sky. This belief shows up in coastal folklore and even made headlines in modern times. There have been reports of starfish raining down during storms or waterspouts. What's the truth? Waterspouts can occasionally suck up lightweight sea life and deposit it elsewhere, but this is extremely rare. In most cases, washed-up starfish on beaches are the result of strong tides or currents, not skyfall. Still, their mystical reputation has been enhanced by the sight of starfish falling from the heavens. The romanticized legend that starfish live indefinitely follows. People often assume that because starfish can regrow limbs and lack a brain, they don't age or die the way other creatures do. But in truth, starfish have a lifespan just like any other animal. Depending on the species, some live only a few years, while others can survive for decades. They may not get wrinkles or gray hair, but they eventually wear down. Disease, predators, environmental stress, and aging all take their toll. A strange and almost magical myth claims that if you make a wish upon a starfish, it will come true, like a shooting star of the sea. This idea likely comes from starfish being associated with celestial symbols. Their symmetrical shape and their name, after all, tie them directly to the stars in the sky. While this belief has no scientific basis, it does speak to the sense of wonder that starfish inspire. Whether or not your wish comes true, there's something undeniably enchanting about finding a starfish while walking a shoreline. In some cultures, it's believed that starfish have healing powers. Ancient legends claim that placing a starfish on an injury or wound could speed up healing or prevent infection.